Welcome to Advocates for Justice Paralegal Service. We are different and we prove it. Hey, today I want to talk about a couple of things. First thing on the list, I wanted to let you guys know I got my first 5-star Google review on the Eliminating Property Tax Lawsuit Package. Yay! We're pretty excited about that. I'm also excited to share with you guys my new fancy award that I won in Chandler, Arizona. Is that nice or what? Yeah, it's pretty nice to be recognized for excellence in something. Yeah, we got this award for our work in foreclosure defense and the people that we've helped out in Arizona. So I'm pretty proud of that. Today we're going to start out talking about our eliminate property tax lawsuit package. Okay, the most asked question that we get is how many have we won? Well, this is a new strategy, and no one's doing things the way we're doing them. The usual way people work to get their property tax, get their deed, to get their property off the tax roll, is to just petition to remove it off the tax roll. Okay, and I've talked to several people that have done that, but the problem with that is, number one, they're still in control of your deed. So what happens is usually after a year or so, they put it back on a tax roll and start sending you property tax bills again. So that approach is not really one that I would like recommend or want to build a program off of, because it obviously only works for a little while. The other approach is, I read during my research, there's another approach that people do. So they sell the property to someone like a family member or whatever, and then they don't tell them who the family member's name is, and then they go and do all this, and like, okay, that's just too much. Here's the deal, okay? The problem, uh, the problem with the property tax situation is that the property tax is, most people don't realize this, okay? The property tax is initiated, okay, with the filing of your property deed in the county recorder's office, okay? Once your deed is filed in the county recorder's office, then they start, the property tax, the zoning, the code enforcement, all of those things hinge off of your property deed, the deed to your property being filed in their office. But see, here's the deal: if there's no law that mandates that you must, that there's no law that demands that you have to file the deed to your private property in their office, then there should be no problem with them returning it to you. Okay, and that's that's like the bottom line. If there's no law, okay, mandating that you have to file the deed to your property in their office, then you should just be able to formally request it back and be done with it. Now, sure, uh, they're going to tell you, well, you have to pay property taxes and blah 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 blah. But you know what? That's not the argument here. Okay, that's the focus, but that's not the argument. Okay, the argument is, okay, if there's no law that mandates you have to put your deed in the county recorder's office, then I would move to them, serve them notice to return your deed because you want it back. When your deed was put in their office, you was not informed that that deed would initiate the property taxes against your property every year that go up every year for nothing. Okay, that you were not informed that the deed being filed in their office would allow the state to use your property as collateral for loans from the federal government. Okay, and here's one of the other really big things. Um, we have a private foreclosure rescue Facebook page, and we have 400 and something members in the group. Members in the group use my strategies and documents, and then they work together as a collaboration in the group to figure out what people are doing and what we need to do. So I have people in the group that actually have documentation to show that their property was paid off. The deed release, the lien, they have all of the documents to show their property is paid off. But the problem is that they're facing foreclosure. They're facing foreclosure because of a fake assignment that was filed against their private property that was already paid off. So it got me to thinking, so where do these attorneys get the information to make these fake assignments that they're using to attack people's property? Yep, from the county recorder's office. Think about it. That's how that works. So it appears that, you know, it appears that the attorneys are actually using this county recorder's office situation in their favor. In my eliminating property tax lawsuit package, we have a notice of claim for $5.5 million. Okay, the idea is to provide them notice and give them opportunity to cure the problem before you actually pay and file the lawsuit and start all the formal proceedings against them. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, there's no law that mandates you have to put your deed in their office. So you can request to have your deed returned to you and to have all the evidence of it and their records removed. So you're not facing all these situations that having your deed in their office is putting you in. We also have the federal lawsuit for $5.5 million that you can file to address the illegal property tax collection if they can't figure this out and comply with what you're asking. Okay, so we have a couple of other documents in the package to address the situation if someone that works for the law firm tries to respond or whatever. I'm going to be working closely with the clients who purchased this package because we want to make sure to see how they respond and make sure that we can provide the supporting documents that we need to make this effective. Okay, because we're serious about what we're doing here. Okay, if you're facing a tax lien foreclosure, this package would be perfect for you because if you think about it, instead of attacking the foreclosure and doing all that complicated stuff, you can attack the fact that the collection of the taxes against your property was illegal, and then that's going to throw a wrench in everything that they're trying to do. If you're facing a tax lien foreclosure, I would suggest, especially a timeline, I would suggest that you file the lawsuit first because you may not have time to wait for the response to the notice of claim. And the notice of claim is just something that's not done in court. It's something you put together and you send it to them certified mail to make sure that you can prove they received it. And it gives them opportunity to cure the problem, but it actually doesn't put any pressure on them other than them knowing that there's a problem here and this problem could be worse if they don't do the right thing. So back in the old days, things were much more simple. Okay, you took your property, deed to your property down and had it notarized and signed it, and then you took it home and stored it in your Bible. You didn't have to worry about having their file at these different places and do all the things. Nowadays, attorneys are telling us to file the deed in their office to protect our property. And then once you do that, then you start getting they reclassify your property. They reclassify your property as agricultural, residential, agricultural, commercial. Okay, and that reclassification is for the sole purpose of taxation. And people don't realize that residential actually means a house that a government official lives in. So what they're doing is getting around the fact that they're not allowed to tax private property. So they reclassify your property from private property to one of their commercial classifications, and then they start taxing you and doing all the other things. Once they get your property deed filed in their office, they also attack you with codes and zoning enforcements, and in some cases, like I mentioned earlier, your deed is used for loans, for collateral, for loans from the federal government. But the biggest problem with your deed registered in their office is the fact that attorneys are using the county deeds office to access private property information. Yep. and they're using that information to make fake assignments, fraudulent assignments, that they file against, that they unlawfully file against foreclosures, and do foreclosures against people's properties. So that's one of the main things that is a problem with your deed being filed in their office. So it's not a good idea to have your deed filed in their office, and this lawsuit package hopefully will help you take care of that. Our strategy is to file a notice of claim and let them know that you want it back, and if they don't comply, file a lawsuit against them in federal court for the unlawful tax collection, violation of her rights, and RICO and several other things. When you're addressing this problem with bar members or members, people from the court, you need to understand, okay, don't let them get your argument twisted, okay? They're going to tell you, you must pay taxes, blah, 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 blah. But that's not your argument, okay? Your argument is simple, okay? There is no law that forces you to put your deed in the county recorder's office, so you want it back. And you're going to keep it in your Bible, where it should be and where it used to be kept before they came up with all these complicated processes, okay? That's your argument, okay? Unless they can show you a law, okay, that mandates that you have to file your stuff in their office, you want it back. The issue of the taxes is not your problem, okay? And that's exactly what I would tell them. That's not my problem. The issue of taxes is not your problem. You want your deed back. So I did quite a bit of research on this property tax issue, and I saw a blog from a guy who actually used to remove his stuff off the tax scroll, okay, to get control. He didn't have control of his deed, but he did stop his taxes for a period of time. And he said the county was really grumpy with him. So what they did with him was they sent him a list of what he was going to be charged, okay, if the fire department had to come out, if the police department had to come out, or the ambulance service. The guy lived out in the country, so he burned his own trash, so there was no trash pickup. So they sent him a bill, and it was interesting, as you can stop and think about it, most of us never called the fire department out to your house. But the way they have their system set up, we're paying for that every day. It don't make no sense. So anyway, if you're ready to get control of the deed to your property, okay, head over to my website and get the ball rolling, okay? winincourtnow.com. I'll also leave a link in the description area down below. I'll leave a link down below to the actual product page. So you can just click on it and go right to the page. You don't have to look at the other stuff. But I would suggest that you check out the other stuff. We have a lot of interesting stuff on our website that can help you out if you're in this situation, or if you're facing foreclosure or whatever. So also, before we end, I want you guys, please click on the button down below and subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money. When you subscribe, it just lets YouTube know that you find value in my videos and what I'm doing. And as you can see, I'm hoping YouTube, I'm looking forward to hanging out with YouTube a lot. So I need you guys to go ahead and subscribe so that YouTube knows. Click and share. Also, if you're interested in the free tips and strategies that I provide in my videos, click the bell so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. So I will see you guys in the next video. We're going to talk about a little more about the eviction process. That's what the next video is going to be. I have to think about it for a minute. Anyway, thank you. Have a great day.